All right. We should be live to both Twitch and YouTube at this point. So, Hello, welcome to Awesome Hardware.
Hi guys.
Live tech show that Paul and I do every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We also stream the show to our respective YouTube channels. Today, the first half of the show is on my channel, Bitwit, and in about half an hour or so, we'll switch over to Paul's. You can find the link to his half when we begin that in my video description underneath the YouTube player. Let's see, we like to have a good time on the show. It's pretty laid back. We keep it cash. Have a couple drinks on hand. Usually, our glasses are fuller at this point, but we can fix that. Cheers.
I bet that was a loud clinky that was right in front of the mic.
Oh yeah, sorry, I gotta be aware that
fine.
Mic's right there.
Makes people feel like they're really right here with us.
Yes, very immersive.
In the room.
Immersion. We occasionally use adult language on the show, so be warned. And we also sell things on our merchandise stores, which help us get money. And money allows you to do things.
So many things.
So many things.
Control the wills of others.
Yes, manipulation.
Yes.
Torture. Bitwit.tech is my store. You can buy the Screw with Confidence shirt, which is still doing well.
Hey.
Still in 2 flavors. A bunch of other stuff there. Very high quality merchandise. The glasses are sold out because we are still in search of a new logo.
Look at that.
The days are numbered on this here logo. We're looking for a new one currently.
Tired of it, huh?
We don't really have any good leads, but we're working. We're working tirelessly to find a new one. So don't buy anything with that logo on it just yet. Paul's store.
Or buy things with that logo now. Limited time offer, and it will soon, like
triple resale value.
I wear the awesome. What did your channel used to be
Awesome
called?
Sauce.
I wear the Awesome Sauce Network shirt.
Yeah, that's like an antique.
And people are like, "Man, you must have be an old school fan of Kyle back before he changed his brand."
Yeah.
Completely destroying his his YouTube channel and everything.
Because my channel's never been.
No, it's actually worked out great for you. Point being, though, you can buy stuff on my store too.
Yes,
that's what I was trying to.
Paul's store is paulshardware.net. It was a great segue, Paul.
Yeah.
You've also got the captive thumb screw.
Yeah.
Which is still there on a multitude of items, shirts and hoodies and pint glasses and stuff.
Look how clever that is.
Yes, it is.
Super clever.
It's great. It's great. Very punny.
Lots of compliments.
Puntastic.
If you wear that shirt.
The thumb screw shirts are always great sellers as well. Happy to pick up either of those, anything from our stores, and you will get a Johnson shout out at the end of the show, as always. And let's dive into the news.
People in chat say that you did the wrong start time for your
I did the wrong start time. Was it? Did I do AM?
It doesn't matter. We're live.
Did I do AM instead?
They said YouTube said that
well,
one person in chat said
late.
this. It could be trolling. I don't know.
They could be trolling.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
It's just 5:30 p.m.
All right, never mind.
You guys are crazy.
We're fine.
I mean,
we were only like slightly more than 10 minutes late, which is honestly is within the margin of
margin of
that's
awesome
the buffer. Everyone has a buffer.
Yeah.
15-minute buffer.
Ours is roughly 10 to 25 minutes. All right,
thank you, Facey2, for the compliment on my shirt. My wife bought me this shirt.
I was gonna say it's a nice shirt. I dig the Lego.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's a mashup.
Is it? Oh, I didn't get. Is it Halo? No, not Halo.
No, it's Watney. It's Mark Watney.
Who's Mark Watney?
From The Martian.
Oh, is that Matt Damon?
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
I
didn't get that at first.
Yeah, well, see, it's a mashup, and I didn't realize this until recently.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of websites that sell T-shirts that have mashup designs on them.
Right.
And I was like, often those are popular with people because, like, take 2 clever things that people are nostalgic about, put them together.
Right.
And people are like, I want to buy that shirt. As case in point right here.
I love the mashup shirt.
But then I realized a mashup changes something and it probably protects them from copyright infringement. Which is why when I was looking for certain shirts, because I realized I have a lot of Paul's Hardware shirts. I don't have a lot of like non-Paul's Hardware shirts. So we were looking for just some other shirts that I could wear out and about when I want to be discreet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was looking for just some basic. I was like, I would wear a Final Fantasy shirt that just had the Final Fantasy logo.
Right.
Really hard to find that. Plenty of Final Fantasy mashup shirts.
Interesting.
It's harder to find just the straight single logo because then it's a copyright infringement.
Exactly.
Anyway,
they got to pay a bunch of licensing fees to actually make that shirt. They'll lose money on it. That makes a lot of sense.
Was just thinking about that. Anyway, brief aside here to start the show off. Making you guys think. That's what the show's all about.
We should do a Bitwit and Paul's Hardware mashup shirt.
We should. We should call them Awesome Hardware shirts and sell them on our stores.
Oh yeah, we already do that.
Oh yeah.
I have full
clever.
of great ideas that we've already thought of. All right, so let's dive into some of today's news, starting with the hot and heavy hardware segment, where we talk about hardware that's hot and heavy. Sometimes it's not.
Sometimes
hot or
literally,
heavy.
sometimes metaphorically.
Exactly, but it's always one way or another. Today's is sort of, I don't know, metaphor. I guess it's metaphorically.
Metaphysical.
I guess it's neither metaphorically hot or heavy.
Metallurgy.
But it is literally heavy-ish for what it is. It's the NVIDIA RTX...
Metastatic.
Metastatic.
I don't even know if that's
the next word I was thinking of.
good.
But the RTX 2080 Super is officially launched today. You probably got 25 notifications in your sub box.
So many reviews.
There was videos from me and from Paul and from all your other favorite tech tubers. So let's talk about it briefly. We're not going to focus too much on it because you guys are probably, sick of 2080 Super content at this point, and just Super content in general.
That's horrible.
But this article is, I wanted to highlight a Nantex article because they always do such a good job. They're very thorough. This one's by Ryan Smith. And basically, the long and short of it is that the 2080 Super is kind of like the odd... It's the oddest card. It's somewhat like the least necessary card out of the Super lineup, in my opinion, and it's kind of a consequential card because the 2016 2070 Super only launched as a retort, as a retaliation against AMD's RX 5700 series GPUs.
That's the assumption.
Well, that's the assumption, but
NVIDIA's never going to come out and say that.
Of course not. But let's
based
be
on
real.
when they launched it and everything, yeah.
Of course.
You'd be like, okay.
It was a total response. And so what happened then was, if you take a look at the 2070 Super, it actually increased the performance by quite a bit, up to 15% at times, over the existing RTX 2070. Which, yeah, please do. I would like to too. Surprise me. Which brought the performance a lot closer to its bigger brother, the RTX 2080. But the RTX 2080 at that point was $200 more expensive than the 2070 Super. So it was kind of cannibalizing itself in a way, the 2070S over the RTX 2080. So as a result of, NVIDIA somewhat shooting themselves in the foot by retaliating against AMD, they had to create a better stopgap GPU between the 2070 Super and the 2080 Ti that would... that was very close. That was intentional. It gave me a heart attack.
Cat-like reflexes.
We got some Arrogant Bastard.
Arrogant Bastard.
Beautiful. Perfect beer for this show. So the 2080 Super, it just exists because it has to. It's not a sexy card. It's not exciting, but this Paul's Hardware bottle opener certainly is. And you can get it at paulshardware.net right now. Link in the description. So the other thing is that the 20... Oh, yeah, okay. We always get our priorities straight here on the show.
Thank you.
So the 2080 is by no means a sexy, attractive card. I think Gamers Nexus put it very well. Steve said it's phenomenally boring. It's a phenomenally boring card. It just exists because it has to. Otherwise, the product stack, NVIDIA's product stack, would not make sense. So it doesn't really compete with any other card. It doesn't make anything exciting.
It's kind of more them realigning stuff, because
exactly. There's just a shift.
The 2080 in its present form with the recent launches made no sense anymore.
Exactly.
So
now it does. But the other thing that you can see here is that if you really want to get down to it, roughly a 5 to 8% performance gain over the existing RTX 2080. Again, nothing super super exciting. Makes you realize, ever since this launch came about, this family of cards, it makes you realize how often, at least it makes me realize how often I say the word super.
It made me realize how stupid of the
how stupid of a name it is too.
All right, you could argue about the stupidity of the name. I don't like the name, but it's very much because I had to sit there and go over benchmark numbers and specify, well, the 2080 does this, the 2080 Super does this, and then you have to go, and then I have a 2080 Super that's the Founders Edition, and a 2080 Super that's from Zotac.
Yeah.
It's a third-party design.
Right.
And it's just, trying to, talk about the benchmark numbers a little bit to just, elucidate that for people.
Right.
Because that's, people tend to like that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just, it was so confusing.
2085, 2075. That would have been way better in my opinion.
Like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Because, you got the TI. They've been doing the TI model for a while, and that still kind of can get a little,
I guess they knew they had to make new versions of multiple cards, and they didn't want to dilute the efficacy of the Ti, since the 2080 Ti is currently their Halo product.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that sort of was refreshed with me going through the benchmarks again. Is man, the 2080 Ti is a beast.
Insane. Yeah, it's still just
like
killer.
Yeah, like knowing NVIDIA is just kind of messing around with the mid-tier cards when they have the 2080 Ti.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like 20-30% faster.
And they're most likely working on something that's even way faster than that.
So
absolutely nuts.
It's so expensive.
I know. Their next card, the next gen Ti is going to be like $2,000.
Yeah, I mean,
I
hope not.
Bat an eye if they sold it for $2,000.
I hope,
and people would still freaking buy it.
I hope Radeon has a 5800 series or a 5900 series in the works, like a bigger version of Navi or something like that. Even if it's I feel like even if it's only competing in the $500 plus range, like say competing with the current 2070 Super and 2080 Super, that still might be an.
All right. All right.
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1.
Oops. Sorry.
That's okay. We had a bit of a little trip of a breaker. Like Paul was saying earlier, if you caught it, like all the electrical in his house.
YouTube doesn't know. We were talking about this.
YouTube doesn't know,
right? So yeah,
all on one breaker.
If you guys follow my channel, you might know that last year I had a solar put in, and I have a new main electrical panel and stuff. That was all like the electrical stuff on the outside of the house. So inside the house, everything is still wired up the same way it was, like I think when the house was built in the 60s, which means that the stuff in the garage, the kitchen, and the living room, basically this half of the house is all in the same breaker. So all the computers and lights and stuff we have out here going on, the portable AC that I have in the garage to keep us somewhat a livable temperature out here when it's hot, as well as what the ladies, because Kyle's wife and my wife are both hanging out over in the living room.
Yep.
My wife has now turned off the TV, which is probably
that should help.
Should give us enough breathing room here to continue the show. So my apologies for that. And yeah,
we just it's really just a ploy to get you guys to miss us. And every time we just go dark like that, you get a little panic and you're like, oh, I need Paul and Kyle. I just need them in my life. You know what else? I totally forgot to announce this, but it's our friend and moderator Cell Processing's birthday.
Oh yeah.
Today. It is his 40th birthday, no less, which is a huge milestone. So we just want to say congratulations and happy birthday, Cell, on making it to 40. You made it. You're an awesome guy. We love you. We love what you do for our channel here and everything you do for the community. So in honor of Cell today, any super chats that are flying around in YouTube, all that is going to go to him for just like a little birthday gift. It's really the least we could do for all the help he's given us, completely free of charge, completely voluntarily, on his own will and accord, to help the Awesome Hardware Show. So, yeah, happy birthday. Wish him a happy birthday, whether it be in chat or at his Twitter, at Cell Processing. He's a good dude.
For everyone in YouTube chat saying F and whatever, it's fine. We're streaming.
They might be a bit more behind or something. I'm not sure.
Right.
But yeah, cheers to you, Cell.
Cheers. Happy birthday, Cell.
Play lots of video games and get super shitty tonight.
Yep.
All right. That's enough about the RTX 2080 Super. Let's move on to our next article from overclock3d.net about Asus detailing their upcoming XG438Q gaming monitor. Again, this is hot and heavy hardware segment where we talk about hardware that's hot and heavy. And this looks like it would be more on the heavy side, Paul, if we're speaking literally. It's a 43-inch...
That's large.
4K VA panel at 120 Hz with a FreeSync 2 range of 48 to 120 FPS.
Nice.
Much cheaper, allegedly, than NVIDIA's BFG displays, which is probably not saying much because those things are expensive as hell.
Aren't those bigger, though? Those are like 65-inch. Everything's fine. Nothing to be concerned about.
The AC just made a funny noise, like it was...
That was the condenser just...
Oh, the condenser.
Deactivating.
Sounded like it was having a stroke.
Yeah, it's back,
it's
see?
going back up. Okay.
Everything's fine.
Not distracting at all. Okay, so the other great thing about this unit is that it exceeds the Display HDR 600 spec.
Oh.
So it has a peak brightness of 750 nits, which is quite a bit more than you'll find on the vast majority of gaming panels these days. It also has an anti-glare
Compressor.
screen.
Yes, not condenser. Sorry.
Anti-glare screen and it's game fast input technology from Asus, which aims to minimize input latency. It's got 3 HDMI 2.0 ports, one DisplayPort 1.4, and it's rocking 10-bit color, 10-bit color depth with 90% DCI-P3. Pricing and availability is to be determined. Would you consider gaming on a 43-inch display, Paul? If it was something like this that was targeted and aimed at gamers?
Yeah. Actually, my wife has the Dell 43-inch 4K monitor. It's 60 hertz, but she games on it and plays Overwatch. And even though she's sitting pretty close to it, it's really cool to watch her play. So if you were to increase the refresh rate in particular, I'm sorry, the refresh rate in particular,
sure, with FreeSync no less,
that would be pretty nice. That's the one thing I feel like is lacking from that monitor when it comes to gaming in particular. Yeah, so it's big. It's very large. You wouldn't want to sit too close to it.
Sure.
But she plays like Overwatch and some other games on there, and then she also does work stuff on there, which includes Excel spreadsheets. So if you can imagine like a 43-inch 4K display is basically like having four 27-inch 1080 displays all right there. So she can do some crazy Excel work on that and stuff.
That's cool. And I feel like gaming on a big display like that is good, would be super nice for certain games where things are usually pretty tiny, like for Civ 5 or something like that, like any of the Civ games. I think like some extra real estate in that sense would be pretty nice to have. But yeah, I actually I think LG sent over a sample. This is probably last year of one of their 4K 43-inch monitors. I think it has FreeSync, but same thing as yours. It was like 60 hertz, and I was like, if only it had like a higher refresh rate, I would turn it into some sort of gaming device. So it's crazy how refresh rate determines whether a monitor like that is going to be like a gaming display or like the monitor that I use for my security cameras at home. Because that's basically what I'm going to set it up for. Is because it can do picture by picture and all that.
Oh, that's helpful.
It is pretty nice to have, but it's cool to see that we're getting gaming displays in all kinds of shapes and sizes and form factors with the latest and greatest specs. HDR 600 no less. Pretty sweet. Let's move on to our next article here. This is probably something that no one asked for, but you might get it anyway. It's the Origin PC Big O 2.0.
The Big O?
The Big O 2.0. It is essentially a single system that crams together a PC, an Xbox One X, a PS4 Pro, and a Nintendo Switch, all into a single tower.
These Hexus pictures are pretty horrible. I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I saw a few.
Super overexposed.
I've seen a few pictures of these.
Is that their setup? Did they pull these from? Because I know Lou from Unbox Therapy did a video on this.
They were probably at some event where they had access to it to take pictures and stuff.
Oh, there's Lou's video right there.
So.
Oh yeah, so they just pulled images from his YouTube video.
Oh really?
That's his set. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No wonder it looks like crap.
Well, that's why it looks like crap, though.
He's probably one of the few people in the world to have seen this in person.
This is probably the best shot of the interior. You have the guts of a PS4 and an Xbox One X.
Xbox One X1.
Whatever the highest,
Xbox One X.
Whatever the hell the high-end Xbox is called.
You guys know. Yeah, we don't need to specify.
And they're water cooled.
Yes.
And you're just like, man, stupid Xbox using green PCBs. That's still fine. It still looks pretty cool. But yeah, is this all in the same loop?
I don't think so.
Because it looks like you got a...
Oh, no, it is. It is on the same loop.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Right. So...
The tubing is colored,
the tubing is colored. I've actually considered this before.
Doing different colored tubes?
Yeah,
but
coloring
the
tubes so you can still just have distilled water in there
right.
and not worry about coolant or anything like that.
Right.
But anyway...
I'd love to see how they made the water blocks fit onto those PCBs, onto those chips.
Yeah, there must be some kind of custom mount or something like that.
That's pretty sweet. Is the PC on the other side? I didn't even take a close look at the PC.
There's a PC in there as well.
The PC specs, in case you guys are curious and interested, and something like this. The MSI Meg Z390 Godlike, so it's rocking a Z390 Intel platform.
We're watching this in 480p here.
Core i9 9900K, there it is. NVIDIA Titan RTX, 64 gigs of Corsair Dominator Plats, and a bunch of storage there. So,
Sweet.
beast of a multi-system.
Showing the PC specs while showing close-ups of the.
They make PCs, not videos, Paul.
Is there any shot? All right, here's the other side.
There it is. There's the beauty side.
There's the other side with the PC in it.
With an actual nice-looking PCB from a decent motherboard.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, this thing's pretty beastly. You know what's cool is also the, I think if you scroll up, there might be a picture of the Nintendo Switch. Go up one. Yeah, the Nintendo Switch is removable, so that you can still use it as a handheld console.
I've seen a few PCs, like custom PCs, that have integrated like a little Switch, little cubby or whatever.
Yeah.
For that. So yeah, that's cool too. So yeah.
This is not going to be for sale though.
How you can't buy it? I was going to say, how much does this cost?
There's an Origin PC exec that said the machine's never going to go on sale. This is simply to celebrate the company's 10-year anniversary.
Which means like Microsoft and Sony would never allow it. As basically what that comes down to.
Yeah, it's like incestuous, or I don't know. It's like sleeping with the enemy, really.
Man.
So the Big O 2.0 is also a throwback to their 2009 Big O, which combined a gaming PC with an Xbox 360. So this is building upon that. This is definitely a bit more elaborate. And congrats to Origin PC on 10 years of success.
That's a really cool concept. Like I kind of wish they could sell it, because I guarantee there'd be a market for this.
Oh, totally.
It'd be a niche market.
Sure.
People who are rich and everything. It's Origin, so they'd probably charge $4,000 for it or more.
Oh, at least. It'd be like 10 grand, I was thinking.
But yeah. I could see. So if you're making if you want to set up like the ultimate gaming room and like bring people over and impress them, be like, hey, PC, console, whatever the hell you want to play on this.
Yeah.
Load some emulators on the PC side of it. You can basically have access to like virtually any game ever. That'd be pretty sweet.
I would say that this is like super practical if it weren't custom water cooled.
That's the only thing that does throw a little bit of a potential future problems into the mix, because that does introduce some maintenance that you wouldn't necessarily have with off-the-shelf consoles and everything.
It's also kind of terrifying that a leak could potentially destroy 4 systems at once.
Twitch is pointing out, Leon's is pointing out in Twitch, it's got a Titan RTX, so probably much more than 4K.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep.
Probably closer to 8 to 10 grand, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever.
If they ever decide to sell it, we'll find out.
Yep.
So let's see. That's definitely on the heavy side of hot and heavy hardware. Let's move on to something that's a bit more on the lighter side.
Oh.
But potentially hot. At least they're hoping that it won't be. This is the Asus.
It's exactly how they want you to introduce their product.
Yeah. This is the Asus ROG Phone 2 that builds upon, guess what, the ROG Phone 1. It's using a new Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus SoC at 2.96 gigahertz with a boost GPU clock of 675 megahertz. That's on the Adreno 640. It has an improved cooler design. This is why I mentioned heat, because the ROG Phone first generation was known to thermal throttle. So you weren't actually getting the full performance of the phone's capabilities, because it was just overheating, and so it had to downclock everything. This has a brand new cooler design, or at least a new and improved cooler design, to prevent thermal throttling like the last phone, which should help you maximize the phone's performance.
Now, is that the Aero Active Cooler 2, the little snap-on fan?
No. So I don't even know if these are the actual official accessories for this phone, or if it's for the first gen. Because so far we don't really know what the accessories will be for the second phone. Unfortunately,
this is a hideous slide, by the way.
How does anyone?
Like the color choices, this random gradients on some of the numbers.
It looks like
they've left like.
Why is it all neon?
They have screen capped with with spell check stuff going on there and stuff like that. Anyway, all right, sorry.
It looks like the graph took a bunch of ecstasy and went to a rave.
I look at a lot of graphs and slides and stuff like that, and I appreciate a well-made one.
That's
it's easy to look at and digest the information. This one's shit.
Shit!
This was absolutely...
Fuck this phone to hell.
got a little upset.
Piece of shit.
Got pissed off.
Don't make a bad graph in front of Paul.
Yeah.
You will not hear the end of it. It also has a larger 6.5-inch AMOLED screen compared to 6 inches on the last one.
Oh.
I'd still be very impressed with 6 inches. 2340 by 1080 with 120 hertz refresh rate versus 90 hertz. So that's better. Also has 240 hertz touch sampling rate, which gives the device ultra low touch latency. I'm so like out of tune when it comes to the mobile world. I'm like, touch latency. What is touch latency? Is that like 240 hertz, like the rate that you can touch the phone and how responsive the touching is?
It's input lag is basically what they're talking about.
Of your the time it takes your finger to actually register an input. I see.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So 49 milliseconds versus 87 milliseconds on their main competitor, which is the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. So that's about a 40% increase. And if you're a serious mobile gamer, if there is such a thing as a competitive mobile gamer, of course there has to be, then this is probably a very important spec to you. It's also going from 8 to 12 gigs of RAM. You have a 4K, or you're going from a 4,000 to a 6,000 milliamp battery. I think this is probably one of the biggest improvements.
That's a decent jump.
Gaming on a mobile device drains a lot of power very quickly.
Hey, Sal's in chat. Happy birthday, Sal.
Happy birthday, Sal! Sal's badass.
Also, while I'm distracting you, Crafty Hack is also moderating.
Yes, thank you so much, Crafty, for being here.
He's moderated a few times recently. He's
excellent.
He's doing a very passable job.
Yeah, Sal, your job is in jeopardy.
I would go so far as to call it adequate. I'm just kidding.
Almost.
Crafty, you're awesome. Thank you for your help.
It's wildly mediocre. So it's also
nearly sufficient. What a dick.
Overwhelmingly average. So we also have a 3.5 millimeter jack. Hardcore gamers.
I like that.
Are going to be happy with that. 512 gig storage. Main camera is going from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels, which is a huge bump over the last generation. And again, there's probably going to be new accessories for this phone, just like there was for the last phone. However, no cross-compatibility with existing accessories from the last-gen ROG phone because of the size difference of said phones. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yes, that makes sense. A lot of them like snapped around the housing and stuff, so
right.
Yeah.
They're very tailor-made.
That makes sense, Jesus.
Yep, release, yeah.
Crafty said, nearly sufficient. Have you been talking to my wife? That's good. That's good.
Nice. That's why we keep you around, Crafty. It's going to release in China, or I guess it released in China today, and it'll release globally in September. Price is unknown. Expect to pay a pretty penny. All right, that is hot and heavy hardware.
Woo!
We can move on to my next segment, which is the Games Report.
Games Report.
There wasn't a ton of tech news today, apart from the RTX 2080 rubbish. So the 2080 Super rubbish. So we're going to talk about some games. Okay, starting with this article from PC Gamer. Although everyone's talking about it right now, GTA 5 is still
the lower thirds, Kyle.
Oh, geez.
There it is. Okay.
God.
All right. Sorry, it's updated.
We're good. We're good.
I'm clear.
GTA Online is still relevant. Apparently, they keep rolling out DLC. The next big thing here is the new Diamond Casino.
People. Like Twitch streamers play GTA all the time. It's constantly in the top range.
It's still hot, man.
It's just one of those games that people. It's so sandboxy, and people can do so many different things.
Yeah.
That
and the graphics are just amazing. Yeah. Like for a sandbox, it has by far the greatest graphics, and all the mod community for it. Obviously, you can't really get too far online with that, but very dedicated. Mod community there. So this is the Diamond Casino. Have you heard about this, Paul? The Diamond Casino is now open. You should bring all of your money to the Diamond Casino and spend all of it as fast as you can, because there are things you can do here that you've otherwise never been able to do in the game. You can play poker. You can play blackjack. You can play roulette. You could even bet on fucking horses.
Wow.
Okay? And to play, all you need to do is exchange your cash for chips at the cashier services, just like a real casino.
Easy enough.
Okay, it's the future. $500 of in-game currency gets you casino membership, which awards you a one-time $5,000 bonus, and it also gets you special privileges. I think there's like a limo service or some other shit that you get in game. It's very bougie. You can get very bouged out with this new downloadable content. Apparently, one chip is equal to one in-game dollar, which kind of makes it confusing as to why you would need to cash in dollars for chips, but there it is. The chips are just funner, I guess. You can only buy 50,000 chips at a time before a cooldown timer starts. if you're a high roller like that and can actually afford $50,000, 50,000.
It's like a new currency, but they've gated it so that there's there certain stuff that would require you to like go back to the casino multiple times and max out that number in order to purchase it with casino chips?
I am not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised. There are lovely items that you can buy in the casino once you score big, once you win big, and
can you buy the casino? Can you own the casino?
That's probably a future DLC. Man. You know, buy a piece of Los Santos, like a property management, property owning.
This is why GTA San
DLC.
Andreas is still the
because you could buy casinos.
The best. What?
Because you could buy Well, I mean.
Yeah, like, isn't that part of the end game, Las Venturas? Get a casino?
I don't know.
It's been a while since I played
San Andreas is the one installment I never played.
Really?
And I know it was like one of the best.
It's really good.
I know.
It's
I played
quite good.
I played 3, I played 4, I played Vice City, I played 5. Literally San Andreas was the only one. I think it was like I don't know, it was a weird time. I was poor. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Gotta step into CJ's shoes, man.
Working on the corner
of the San Andreas.
Working on the corner of Artesia.
You can do that in San Andreas as well.
Okay. You know, this is better though because you can actually have a baller suite. All right, you can actually have a baller suite with multiple bedrooms, a spa, media rooms, a home theater. There's all kinds of shit you can do in here. Okay. All you need to do is spend real money on fake bullshit in-game currency, and you could be a complete fictional god, all right? And all the fictional ladies will flock to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can customize your mansion. Unknown Modder, which is a user, found that it'll cost you a mere $63 million in-game currency if you wanted to buy absolutely everything that the new DLC has to offer.
It's good to know.
I don't know how much that is in real
money. I wonder how many people are sitting on that much money in GTA Online, because I rarely get to play, but then whenever I play, there's people who like clearly have lots of time to play. We're good for now.
I'll probably take one.
Okay.
Just in case.
We'll get it back up. Sure.
Yeah, that works for me.
That looks delicious.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, I can go for one of those. It's that time.
Yeah, we have personal servants that hand us beer throughout the show. That's just how it's normally goes.
It's part of the YouTube contract.
Right. Once you get to our level, this is just what you can expect.
If you're over 1 million subscribers, just
thank you, number 75.
75. Yeah, were you looking for a bottle opener?
Yes, I was.
I have this Paul's Hardware.
Unfortunately, this level of YouTube fame does not come with a bottle service.
Doesn't. That's true. You have to get up to 5 million subscribers.
Ask Linus about that.
Okay.
I frequently ask him how the bottle service is.
Tortuga Atomico says he has over $300 million in GTA. So
hot damn.
That's good.
Well, I guess he's ready for this DLC.
You should go and buy everything from the casino.
Jeevis Louivis.
What else were you accumulating all that cash for? You obviously were waiting for this particular thing. All right.
Hold on. Isn't there kind of an issue here if you're like able to gamble with in-game currency, but you're using real money to buy the in-game currency? Is there no controversy here? Like, you know, you're gambling with games and like there are potentially minors playing. Like with the whole CS:GO skins thing, you're kind of gambling on skins. Is this? I mean, you can literally play roulette.
So if I don't know the details here, so I'm just taking a shot in the dark here.
Sure.
But I think the difference would be that you can't cash out the money. It's a one-way transaction. You can buy in-game money, but you can't necessarily take that money and then like cash it out for a $50 game card or something like that.
I see. That makes sense. And there's no way to transfer money to somebody else in-game, is there? Can you transfer money to like in-game currency to another player?
But even if you could, that would still like no one like once you've spent the money in game, you can't profit from it outside of the game. Like you can't pull that money back out. I think is the thing. It's a one-way thing. Okay. You're giving Rockstar money. Yeah. Rockstar's never giving you that money back.
Well, no, I understand that. But I'm just saying, let's say you win in-game currency back. There's probably somebody out there, if you can transfer money in between players, who would pay real money for your in-game currency at a discounted rate that you would undercut Rockstar.
And I think in that case, it would probably be like a gray market thing, not approved.
Right.
So
Right.
that wouldn't be within their. They wouldn't have to be responsible for that. Again,
Okay.
I am not familiar with the details of this. I could totally be wrong. I'm just kind of. This is the logic that occurs to me as far as this goes.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Just curious. All right. That's all for that article. Let's move on to our next topic, which is from Rock Paper Shotgun. Really quickly here, Wolfenstein Youngblood is slated to release one day early on PC. It's nice when the PC gamers of the world get a little bit of special treatment.
What a huge big boon that will be to them.
Yeah. One whole day. It's a big deal for some people. But it's going to be releasing on July 25th. That's just in 2 days here on the PC. It's going to be July 26th for everyone else. All you dirty normie plebs, you have to wait a whole 24 hours to play this new installment of the Wolfenstein series.
This is a video from Rock Paper Shotgun, which is linked in the article.
Youngblood launches on Steam for $30 US. I'm surprised it's only $30. Is it not like a full-fledged AAA title?
Maybe they just wanted to charge a reasonable amount for the game so people will play it, Kyle.
Potentially, Paul.
I don't know.
There's also word that there's not going to be any ray tracing at launch. It may come later, but we're not sure how it'll be utilized in game. So,
okay.
Yeah. You will not be able to see the glorious reflections off of all these Nazis, all the robot Nazis, at least for now, at least at day one. However, let's pick this back up though. There is some potentially good news here because the game Control does have ray tracing at launch. Article from overclockedmedia.net says that the game will include ray traced reflections, contact shadows, and indirect diffuse lighting. And they're really advertising this. Wonder how much NVIDIA paid them to advertise ray tracing in their games so heavily. But there's trailers, and there's been a trailer or two, as well as these kind of like swipe left to right, RTX on and off screenshots that they provided. So here's just a nice little trailer where you can see how ray tracing affects the visual look of this game.
I was startled there. It suddenly stopped, and I was startled.
Oh no, let's not get too scared here. Okay, so all right, yep, looks slightly better there. There are definitely some areas like that looks pretty cool. You know, you can see the reflection in the mirror. There are some scenes that where it's more impactful than others.
So here's a good example of ray tracing having an effect in game. And this is I talked to NVIDIA a little bit about this, and I was like, it was reminding me of physics. Back when physics first came out by Aegea, back before NVIDIA bought the physics IP. I was like, there's no game that requires you to have ray tracing in order to experience the game properly. That you need ray tracing for.
Right.
That is a really good game that everyone wants to play.
Yeah.
And there's a chicken and the egg thing going on there because no one's going to develop that game because there's not enough people who have RTX cards to enjoy it. But anyway, all that said, you could see this type of thing being used in games with some effect. So like this is people who are like talking shit on ray tracing. Like, don't talk shit on ray tracing.
No.
You can talk shit on NVIDIA's choices over the past year and their push for ray tracing, and I feel like they sort of overhyped it, and then there wasn't enough substance there, so people got kind of turned off by it. But
but the technology itself
side by side right there.
Isn't to blame.
Suddenly you can see a bunch more. There's more to be derived here due to and I know this is just reflections and a thing here, but you could sort of see how this could be used in a game.
Of course.
To provide further immersion or to you know, I don't know.
Imagine a horror game where you're walking through a haunted house or something, and you can see like a ghost or a monster behind you in a reflection of a mirror,
and
like a broken mirror, and you can see it like perfectly ray traced behind you, like and you can turn around and shoot in the head.
And it's not a simulated viewport; it's an actual reflection of something that's happening down a hallway that you wouldn't see otherwise if you weren't facing it or something.
Exactly.
So there you go. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Brief aside there.
So everyone should go buy Control and buy a ray tracing supported RTX card, and there you go.
Thanks, NVIDIA.
Thanks for paying us to say all that.
Of course.
Let's move on to our last article here for Games Report about the Nintendo Switch. Okay? The Nintendo Switch is getting a new console coming in August that's supposed to have double the battery life, which is huge, as a lot of Switch users are using these consoles on the go, as they're intended to be used. So this is going to cost the same, $300 that the original console costs right now. Unsure if the existing console is going to see a price drop or anything, but there is a slight issue. It might be hard to tell apart the first and second gen switches if you're looking at these in a brick and mortar store, for example. Now it does look like the packaging is slightly different. You can see here we've got the OG Nintendo Switch on the top and the refresh at the bottom. The retail boxes are slightly different, so I guess you could tell that. But to the untrained eye, you know, your mom or dad who's looking for a new Switch for Jimmy for Christmas isn't going to know fuck all. They're going to be like, oh, it's the same shit. They just got fancy with their packaging.
It's a pretty significant difference, though.
Yeah, 2.5 to, or the range was up to 6.5 hours, now up to 9 hours, potentially even more, depending on how you use it. But there are other ways that you can tell the Switches apart from the retail packaging. The model number for the original is HAC 001, whereas the model number for the new Switch is HAC 001-01. So there's a little bit of an extra, a few extra digits.
Stupid.
There.
Why isn't 002? Or
yeah,
like,
yeah, I don't get it.
Did you not have enough digits here, Nintendo, in this 001? How many versions of Switch do you have?
They had
that you couldn't have made that 002 or 053 or any of the literally 999 different variants you had. You had to add another dash 01 in parentheses on the end. Why the friggin' hell do people? Sorry.
They had a digit. They had
that?
a digit quota. They're like, all right, we must have 5 digits in this one for no apparent reason.
0 sense to me.
No, it definitely doesn't. We should have a rant segment where we talk about shit like this. There's also the product serial number beginning with XAW on the original Switch.
Chad is right. 998 different options.
998.
That would affect.
Wow.
One was already used. All right, my bad.
Damn it, chat. Versus XKW on the new one. And then you can look at the actual battery life description, where it goes up to 6.5 hours for the original and up to 9 hours for the new Switch. So there you go. Now you will never be confused because you decided to tune in to Awesome Hardware that one time. There's also the just worth mentioning the Switch Lite. The Switch Lite is going to be a new console that's it's like exactly like a Switch, but it's only handheld. There's no dock. So it's not intended to be hooked up to your TV. It's simply an on-the-go device that is kind of like a beefed-up 3DS in a way.
It's a poor people Twitch.
It's a poor people...
Switch, not Switch.
And poor people... I was like, poor people what? But that's going to cost $200, so it's going to be a bit cheaper because there's not as much functionality. But there are a lot of gamers out there who are only using their Switches in mobile cases. So.
Right. Let me clarify here, because I said I don't understand why they did this.
Okay.
I do understand why they did this. I know exactly why they did this. It was intentional. It obfuscates. It requires a special article to determine the difference between these. Hopefully many of you who were considering a Switch purchase now know this information, whereas you otherwise wouldn't have.
Nintendo wants us to
They
be
do this because there's a bunch of the old version out there, and they don't want that stock to suddenly become not as valuable, or to suddenly sell for less, because people only want the new one.
Sure.
So they create confusion between the new one and the old one.
Yeah.
So people have a difficult time discerning between the two, and that way they can still sell the old one, even though the new one has come out.
Right.
That's exactly why Nintendo did this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It is shitty.
That totally makes
it's shitty.
That totally makes sense.
And I don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's the alternative. They just phased this. They should have just sold out.
The alternative is them coming out with a new version that is more distinctly different from the old version, and then they have to cut the price on the old one.
Yeah.
They're still trying to sell the new one and the old one for the same price. They're still trying to sell them both for $300.
I think that's
They need to take the old one and sell it for $250 or $200 to clear out the old inventory, but they don't want to do that. They want to make the same profit margin that they did before.
Yeah.
So they do something like this. This is why they did it.
Yep.
Anyway, that's business.
Corporations, damn it.
Yay, groovy smashing, yay
Next
capitalism.
time on Oh Joy.
Okay.
And then finally, let's move on to our last segment, which is just a really quick, stupid makeshift segment that I just made up in the last 5 seconds.
Ask the audience.
No, it's not. Oh, kind of. Yeah, it is. It is Ask the Audience, but we only have one question, and it's not tech-related at all. So, as some of you guys know, Wifey Sauce and I are currently renovating our living room. It's a huge, huge project. It's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to complete. We're currently in the midst of it, and we just found out a few days ago that the contractor said that the area of the house that we're trying to pour concrete in, because this is the house, right? This is the house, and there's the living room that we're trying to renovate. But the living room that we're trying to renovate is weird because it actually goes down a step. So it goes down a step, and then later on it goes up a step.
Have you done any vlogs recently?
No, not yet. You won't really find it there.
Oh, you just posted a picture or something.
I posted some pictures or whatever. But basically, we have this
Where
step
did those
down.
Appear?
What's that?
Oh, there.
Oh, they're perfect.
Look at that. Community tab.
Beautiful. Okay, so you see the step right there? So this is the living room. This is the current state. Actually, this is, it looks even more disheveled than this right here since this was posted. So you see the step there on the right?
This one right here?
Yes.
Okay.
So that needs to be flush with the rest of the house. And in order to do that, we need to pour concrete all up in that empty, that slope, that lower area, the lower part of the foundation.
Down,
okay.
Like underneath where this would be?
Like basically all in here needs to be filled with concrete.
This doesn't have concrete on it right now?
No, we need to make it flush. We need to make it flush. We want to eliminate that.
So you're going to raise the floor on the left side
Exactly.
here
We want to raise the floor to make it flush.
Okay.
However, the rest of the house is 1 inch shorter than where that step is.
Up here?
Yes.
Okay.
So technically, we would actually have to have a 1 to 1.5 inch step right between the dining room and the living room.
Okay.
There's like sort of a wide, like a really wide doorway that frames the entrance
there's like
between
the
the
main
dining
house, and then there's this other room, and when you come out of the main house, it goes down.
Yes.
And then there's that room, and then it goes, up at the end of that room, and then there's the upper level. So
Yes.
it's talking about filling in this lower level here.
To make it flush.
But then that would make that a little bit higher than the level of the house.
Exactly.
1.5 inches.
1.5 inches roughly.
A little step up.
So the question that I had, and that Wifey Sauce and I have been wrestling with is this going to be a problem? Is it going to be annoying? We've never had or lived in a house that had a small step like this. That's just like 1.5 inches, you know. If it was one step, like one regular size step like the one in that picture, I think it would be less of an issue because it's very visible. People won't likely trip on it, and I think that's our main concern.
Where's the bottle opener?
How it'll look.
That's the bottle
I think did Wifey Sauce steal it?
She took it?
Hey.
She just stole it?
Nope. Sorry. Never mind.
Never mind.
Never mind. Go away.
Kyle was accusing you of wrongdoing.
I'm usually right about that. So is it going to be an issue to have a step that's 1.5 inches? I don't know. How will it look, and how will people interact with it? Will they trip on it? Will it not be an issue? We could do a slope, but that would look really terrible.
Crafty put a comment.
Oh, from Crafty, not if you install a camera to capture everyone tripping over it. I thought of that. I thought, how hilarious would that be if we just benefited from everyone else's sorrow and pain. But Wifey Sauce didn't really like that idea. Plus, I'd probably be one of the people tripping on it, so yeah. Any thoughts on this, Paul?
Would you on the little step? Would you put like that tape, like the yellow / reflective tape? You know, they put on steps like high visibility to warn people.
I don't know if that would match our floors.
I mean, it might stand out a little bit.
It might be a
with
little
your color
not quite as
scheme
modern or contemporary like the
on.
look we're going for.
But
so these are the important questions that we have been trying to answer. Questions like this have filled our life for the last 2 weeks, and it's
they're important.
They are important because this is what you're gonna have to deal with day in and day out.
You have to make the right decision or live with your failure for like years and years afterwards.
It seems like such a stupid, insignificant.
Spend thousands of dollars to fix it.
Right.
Would you mind putting that over there with your?
So we're racking our brains about this. I think Wifey Sauce's biggest concern is that it's going to look ugly and that people will trip on it. And I somewhat am concerned about that as well.
Fair enough.
Although it might not be. It might be a non-issue. Maybe everyone who comes in will obviously see that there's a step there and not trip on it at all, and it'll just look like a little step, and people won't be like, oh, God, the step! Oh, the house is beautiful, but the step just ruins everything.
We watch a decent amount of House Hunters.
Yeah.
It's my wife's decision, but I'll be honest, I don't object or anything to it. People seem to constantly complain about stairs. Anytime there's stairs, like, oh, our kids are gonna fall down the stairs and die or something like that. Like, I'm always like,
How many?
Wouldn't people like you're in your situation? Wouldn't people stub their toe once and then realize there's a step there from then on or whatever?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Or like, don't children need to learn how to negotiate stairs at some point in their lives?
And to like look before they leap, type of thing. Like,
something like that. So I don't.
Right. So it could easily be a non-issue. I'm really curious to hear, from people who actually have a step like this in their house, because according to our contractor, it's not as uncommon as we think.
Maybe it's just hell. People are gonna.
The foundation, like especially if a slab isn't
like,
always
it was the worst decision we've ever made to go with that step. Destroyed our lives.
So all right, let's look at the results, and then we can end my half.
Okay.
Because I've been rambling on.
Let's check
Get
results.
some food to eat.
Yes, people will trip and die, and you're gonna go to jail forever.
Okay, so roughly two-thirds of you think that it's a terrible idea. The problem is we don't have a great alternative. We could do a slope, like a gradual incline, but that, I think, is going to be, uglier.
What if you just burn down that room? Just burn it down?
Well, we've already...
Forget about it.
I wish that was an option now,
just be like
but after we've already dumped so much money into it...
A pit of ash in your backyard, we're like, we never speak of that place. So, and then anyone who comes over, you, like, tell them, you're like, there would have been so much grief and horror of people with stubbed toes had we not burned down that room.
Our backyard would have been a graveyard.
I'm just saying that's an option you have. Just throwing it out,
great.
out there.
I'm glad I approached you with this issue.
Of course.
Invaluable
reasonable
advice
solutions.
As always. All right.
Logic-based.
Well, I'm still in the dark. But that's going to do it for my half.
Hooray.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere, though, because we're about to stream for another half an hour or so on Paul's half.
And there's an after party
And there's
today.
an after party. Although it can't be too long because we do have a time crunch on for dinner.
I know.
But yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay where you are on Twitch.
Bye, guys.
Follow the link in the description.